Hey guys, so this is going to be, and I put in quotes, episode 2 of me talking about different parts of this car. And something that I wanted to talk about early on is the air conditioning in Honda Civics. And you might think to yourself, this is the most boring thing that anyone's ever going to talk about. But it'll be quick, painless, and I promise I'll probably teach you something, because there has been so much debate about the air conditioning systems in a Honda Civic. When I had my first Honda Civic in 2018, I had no issues with the air conditioning, with really anything. So, gorgeous STI just pulled up next to me, if you guys can see that. But when I had my first Honda in 2008, Civic Si in 2018, I had not one issue with it. A friend of mine had a 2016 Civic Touring model. In 2018, he had a problem with his air conditioning unit. And this led to I don't know how many months road of fighting with Honda, fighting with the dealership, just fighting in general that should have not happened. If you do a quick search online and look up 10th generation Civic air conditioning, you'll find so many people who have had issues with their air conditioning unit that it's not even funny. So it started with the 2016s when Honda didn't want to come out and say that they were doing an actual recall, but there was an issue with their systems. They were leaking like there was no tomorrow, so it wasn't holding Freon in the engine. They also gave you such a hassle to replace the AC unit, even if you were in the warranty. Because they'd always say, like, there's so many stories of people online saying, well, road damage caused your issues. And that's not covered under normal wear and tear. Like, you clearly hit something and that's what happened, so we're not going to cover it. Well, in the case of my friend who had a 2016 Civic Touring, he had his compressor go out, and at the end of it, he didn't have to pay anything. Hondas have issues with their air conditioning units, whether it be a leak, whether it be a faulty compressor, just in general. It's bound to happen. It seems like all of their cars have an AC issue at some point in time. So having a Honda kind of makes me nervous. At least a Honda Civic kind of makes me nervous for the whole air conditioning issue. Honda says they've fixed it, and since then a recall has come out. Honda did a recall with the engine. They did a recall with their whole AC system, with the compressor and all that. So you could think that they had fixed it. You'd think they'd have fixed it. And I'm hoping they did fix it. But it's always in the back of your mind of, okay, well, the 2020 came out after the recall. Did they fix it, or is this one going to be recalled in the future? I don't think tuning the engine would really void them from covering it under a warranty at this point, because they know it's a known issue. But it's something to really think about, because Hondas have never had a good air conditioning system. Yesterday was 90 degrees. I had my air conditioning and you could hear it. This is full blast AC with recirculation on. And it's quite loud. I'm sure you can hear that. Whether it sound like wind noise, I'm not sure how the GoPro is going to pick it up, but you can hear it. So, just by having a Honda, you know you're not buying it for an air conditioning unit. As funny as that sounds, yesterday it wasn't even keeping up. Like I said, it was 90 degrees outside. I had it on full blast. It was making a ton of noise, and it was still hot as anything inside my car. Hot as anything. So, Hondas are known to have it. I'm sure a lot of people have had a Honda, had an issue with their old Civic, and didn't buy a Honda. But people need to think about it. It's such a small aspect of owning a car, but it's a big aspect. It didn't deter me away. I've never had an issue with going to the dealership for service or warranty or fixing something. The dealerships near me, thank God, are great, and they're always willing to help someone out, especially if you've owned like 20 Hondas in a row like my family has. They kind of know me on a daily basis, or know me on a first name basis, and I used to work at one of the dealerships, so kind of helps me that I got in a little closer with them. It's still an issue though. It's something to think about. You can replace it, the compressor, yourself, or you can fight Honda on it if you have to. There's other ways to deal with it where you can replace the Freon inside of it. You can put a dye inside of it to see if it's leaking or where it's leaking. If you can prove that your compressor is leaking because of a crack, most likely Honda will cover it right then and there, because they said that their compressors are having an issue where there's a crack that forms and it leaks Freon, and that's why your AC is not working. So not only do you need to get the AC refilled, the Freon refilled, but you also need to get your compressor fixed so it doesn't leak again. So if you guys have any issues, have had any issues in the past with Honda, please let me know. I've seen in the forums people talking about it. I've heard from the dealership people talking about it. But if you've had any actual first-hand experience with that, please let me know in the comments, because I'm curious to see what happened to you and how Honda handled your issue. So I'm sorry if this was a boring video. I promise I won't make another one like this again. I just want people to be informed on past issues that Honda Civics have had. And as much as I love my Honda Civic, it's not a perfect car, and it's bound to have a few flukes and issues along the way. And you should be aware of those issues. So please give this video a like if you think I taught you anything. And let me know down in the comments what kind of issues you've had with your Honda, and maybe I'll make a video on it if it's an issue I've had with my past Hondas.